I would be very surprised indeed to see Don Shula let Doug Peterson throw his first NFL pass in this situation. They have the field position. It would be about a 47-yard field goal, 46-yard field goal for Pete Stoyanovich. And Don Shula very much would like to get the lead back on the road.
Stoyanovich has kicked a 52-yarder this season, and overall 10 of 14 made field goals.
Because remember, even though Ken O'Brien and this Eagles offense had a good first half, they have really struggled since the injury to Randall Cunningham. Shula probably feeling that if he can just get the lead, give his defense a chance to hold on, would be the best strategy.
O'Brien and Bubby Brister discussing things on the sideline. Actually, the Eagles moving the ball those last two possessions, but they both resulted in Vaughn Hebron fumbles. Third and 11. They've converted half of their attempts so far. Peterson's in the shotgun. Hands to Kirby. Stopped well short by Mark McMillan. So Stoyanovich will come onto the field in an attempt to give the Dolphins the lead.
They're in the nickel defense. Mark McMillan, number 29, is going to read it beautifully. They'll just come up and make the tackle. I don't think that anybody on that Eagles defense was surprised that that was a running play.
46-yard attempt for Pete Stoyanovich. Peterson, the holder. This is for the lead. And he's got it. Stoyanovich from 46 yards after the Hebron fumble puts Miami on top. Pete Stoyanovich with a field goal after the Von Hebron fumble gives Miami a 2-point lead. 16-14, 6:22 left, third quarter.
Seth Joyner was on the sideline consoling Von Hebron, who has now 2 fumbles that has really turned this football game back in favor of the Miami Dolphins. But Hebron has clearly been the offensive spark, so Seth Joyner just wanting to keep his head in the football game.
Stoyanovich puts toe to football, and Herschel Walker from the 1. Walker broke free for a moment, twisted down at the 32-yard line. Walker with a nice return. It covers 30 yards. And finally, Williams makes the tackle.
First, Rich Kotite had a shot, then Seth Joyner, who has really taken over the leadership role for these Philadelphia Eagles since the departure of Reggie White. Just wanting the young back to know that they're still behind him and still very much desperately need him. 2 fumbles on the day so far, 4 for the season, but Rich Kotite showing a lot of confidence in the young man, leaving him in.
He's gained 62 yards and 11 carries. He's in the backfield with Walker. O'Brien, after the long count, takes a short drop and flips it to Williams, and Williams will gain about 9 yards before Vincent rides him out of bounds. Mike Shad, Chris, leaves with a strained collateral ligament, another in a long string of Eagle injuries.
And there's some big names right there. Randall Cunningham, Byron Evans. They're starting inside linebacker Fred Barnett, one of the most dynamic wide receivers. And at the bottom, Tim Harris, who was really supposed to be the sack master for this Eagles team this year, really has been a non-factor.
Herschel Walker up the middle, short yardage. They only needed a little more than a yard for the first down. Let's see where they spot the football. It will be close, maybe close enough to measure. Klingbeil made the tackle for Miami.
Should say, too, that the Miami Dolphins have had their fair share of injuries as well. Their starting inside linebacker and probably their best player, John Offerdahl, has been in and out of the lineup really for a long time. He's their 5-time Pro Bowler. David Griggs had knee surgery, so the war of attrition continues in the National Football League.
John Offerdahl on the Miami sideline charting the defensive plays.
Tom Olivadotti said that, Dwight Hoyer, who has replaced him at the inside linebacker position, is a good player, but John Offerdahl is a special player. Last year he played in 6 games. Offerdahl did, completely healthy, and in those games the Dolphins were 6-0.
Eagles did pick up the first down. It's Walker and Hebron behind O'Brien. O'Brien being chased and flips it at the last minute. There's a penalty marker down as Hebron makes the catch. About a 5-yard gain. Hollier wrapped him up immediately, but a hold against Philadelphia will nullify it. Marco Coleman was putting the pressure on O'Brien.
You just wonder if it's Mike Shadd's replacement, Brian Baldinger, who's filling in now at guard.
Holding, 78 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Big Anton Davis with a hold.
At the very top of the screen, number 78 just hooked the jersey and got a little piece of the shoulder pad. Fairly obvious.
That'll make it 1st and 20 now for the Eagles. Ball on the Philadelphia 32-yard line. O'Brien has Bailey breaking for the sideline, open for a moment, but the pass too wide and incomplete. And let's go to Jim Lampley in New York.
And Tom, with Ernest Givens hampered by a neck injury, Haywood Jeffries is having a field day for the Oilers. Here's the latest Moon to Jeffries shot from 12 yards out early in the 3rd quarter. It makes it 35-0 Houston over Cincinnati. After playing spiritedly for much of the season, Bengals are caving in today. Chris and Tom.
All right, Jim. And Warren Moon started slowly, was benched at one time. 4 touchdown passes.
That's a dangerous team for the second half.
Speaking of danger, O'Brien is in some and finally floats it out of bounds, throws it away, avoiding the sack. And there's a late flag just now coming in from the side judge. Marco Coleman again was all over Ken O'Brien.
Well, it's definitely not intentional grounding. He was outside the tight end box, which gives him the right to throw the ball anywhere that he wants to once it crosses the line of scrimmage.
So illegal man downfield will be the call against Philadelphia.
This game has really kind of sputtered here for about the last 10 minutes. A lot of mistakes, 3 fumbles, not a lot of offense. Maybe Don Shula knew what he was doing when he played that one conservatively and just wanted to get the lead.
Ineligible downfield, number 62 offense. Penalty decline, 3rd down.
There's the replacement, Brian Baldinger. Mentioned his name a little bit earlier. Brian Baldinger has played 11 years in the National Football League, but only 2 as a full-time starter.
James Lofton joins Bailey and Williams on this play. O'Brien can't find Calvin Williams, who made a diving attempt. Ball off his pads and incomplete with Jarvis Williams defending.
Looked like the ball just bounced off the shoulder pads of Calvin Williams. It hit his pads before it hit his hands. There's nothing wrong with using those shoulder pads kind of as a third hand, but you have to make contact with the hands to the football.
Eagles sails it toward McDuffie. Feels it at the 26. Backpedals for a moment. Now cuts up and dives ahead to the 37-yard line. Tackle made by Herschel Walker on special teams for the Eagles. Well, hope you'll be with us 1:30 next Saturday Eastern Time as Boston College and Notre Dame tangle. And the Boston College team was something to prove after being embarrassed at Notre Dame a year ago. And Notre Dame have to fight an emotional letdown after the big win over Florida State yesterday. Could be an interesting game for the top-ranked Irish. In the Bowl Coalition poll, which combines the CNN and AP polls, Notre Dame #1, Florida State #2 in the combination. Nebraska, which in the coaches poll had been #2, in the coalition poll is 3rd. Byers and Higgs in the backfield. In fact, Byers in the slot as Peterson attempts his first NFL pass and way overshoots the mark as Eric Allen and Mark Ingram were battling toe-to-toe. Meanwhile, it could be a roughing the passer call against the Eagles. There is a flag down.
There's a good no call by the official down the field.